Today I'm just going to give you a quick recap on electromagnetism and our free inquiry project and what our inquiry journal is going to look like. Each of you has been given an inquiry journal template that you can use. So your name just needs to go at the top once, you don't need to put that in every day. And you have your inquiry journal and your essential question. So this top part here is only going to happen once, potentially, in your journal. This next section is the part that you can repeat each day. So you would start each day by writing the date. So that could be today, May 11th. And then each day you're going to keep track of your researching and processing. You're aiming for 15 to 30 minutes of researching or exploring every school day. So for this week and for next week. This week we're focusing on our research. Next week we'll start talking about authentic pieces again. Now, when you're doing your researching, for each resource, you're going to start by putting the title of the resource. And then write your notes as you're retrieving information. So as you're reading it, what are the key points that you're writing down? This is while you are reading. After you have finished reading, you can go back and process the information. So you were asked to include some ways that you're going to process the information. So some examples are you could color code it, you could reorganize it, you could write a summary. You don't have to do all of these things, but choose at least one to show that you're actually thinking through that information and processing it on your own. Writing a summary will probably be really processed information. Now, you could do this for as many titles as you choose to research that day, but you might only do that once, but you could repeat for each resource. If you're doing an interview, this is where you could do like a question and answer format here. So you just have your transcript and then afterwards you could write a little reflection on, okay, what are the key notes that I pulled from it? At the end of each day, when you've finished your 15 or 30 minutes, you're going to reflect, and this is just a quick point form on how the researching went that day. So was it frustrating? Did the resources not actually have useful information? Was it exciting? Basically, was this positive? Was this negative? What were your emotions? And then what is your plan for tomorrow? So this could include like how many minutes. It could include, do you need to go and find a new resource because the one you're using isn't useful? Are you planning to watch this video? Are you planning to interview this person? What is your plan for tomorrow? So you know when you sit down the next day, oh, this is what my job is. I also just wanted to do a quick recap of the rubric for your inquiry journal. So we're using a single point rubric, which means in the middle, I've put the expectations. So if you're meeting these, this is your goal. You could look for ways to go above and beyond, or if you're not quite meeting those, then I would put notes in the developing category. So the first area is the frequency. Are you showing evidence of researching and exploring every school day? So I would aim for every day this week and then most days next week as you're doing your authentic piece. Then I'll be looking at your actual like exploring and researching. So if you clearly labeled which resource you're working on, if you look at the journal, it asks you to put the title. So that would cover that. I show evidence of collecting information from resources. So these would be your initial like notes or your doodle notes or however you're processing it. Remember, your inquiry journal doesn't have to be on the Google Doc. It could be a hard copy thing too. And finally, are you showing evidence that you're actually processing the information by reorganizing it, putting it in your own words, are you color coding it? What are you doing to show that it is processed? And then each day, are you reflecting? So do you provide a quick reflection on how your research is going? It's exciting, I'm learning lots, it's really frustrating, I'm not finding things. And are you able to plan for the next day? So I know we went over all of this in class, well, in our Zoom meeting, as close to class as we get right now. But I wanted to give you a quick recap so you could come back and go over it again if you need to. Feel free to reach out with any questions.